What's up, Cal?
What's up, what's up?
Hey, brother. Two quick questions for you. You and I spoke at Media Day talking about you wanted to speak to the Garden after the fight, get your hand raised, and I can easily say you're the most popular fighter from the area. What did this moment feel to you, culminating your entire career in Combat Zone and your family and everything you've done with your life to get your hand raised at the Garden and a UFCW?
Like I said, I envisioned this since the moment I started my career, day one, and it was better than I could have ever expected. It felt amazing. That Boston crowd, there's nothing like it. You guys were all in the building. You heard it. It was amazing.
And just a follow-up question, how good did it feel to see, Rob and Kyle do their thing, and then you come up and do your thing too?
It felt better than my knockout. I was laughing a little bit because I was really happy to see them go out and do work, and then I was the last fight, so I felt a little added pressure, like, all right, we got to bring this thing home, 3-0. And I was just happy to go out, get the job done, and after, I was just really happy for my teammates. I know how hard they worked. We put in a 10-week camp, and we were all pushing each other leading into this fight. And it was really good to see hard work pay off tonight for New England MMA. It's a great night for New England MMA.
Congratulations, great job.
Thanks, Matt.
Calvin over here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You were talking about this being a dream come true. Did it live up to the expectations? Did it exceed it?
Exceeded, man. It was better than I could have ever imagined. I definitely visualized it all camp, but all my career, it was, it was pretty special. Last week, me and Rob Font went to go see a Celtics game, and we're just like, wow, man, it's going to be crazy next week being in the Garden, walking out, just visualizing everything. And to see it come to fruition and the way it did in spectacular fashion for both of us, it was very, very exciting, man.
There were
more I can imagine.
Yeah, there were two very interesting rounds, and just jumping on Twitter and seeing how fans are reacting to it. Some scored round one for you, some scored it for him, and same thing in the second round. What was your team telling you heading into the third round?
They were talking some shit in the second, but I think I took the first. I felt good in the first. Props to him. He came out strong in the second, I thought. I give him the second round. He was taking some shots. He was coming in, touching the body nicely. He fought really well. He's a tough competitor, and I was excited to see him come out and kind of get the crowd going in the third. I liked that. I respected that. In that moment, I'm like, all right, we're in for a fight, So I had a lot of respect for him in his camp. He's a tough kid. I know he's going to bounce back strong, but third round, I came out. Second round, my coaches said, listen, you got to get aggressive. You got to make this a fight. And just bit down that mouth guard and put in a good combo together, put something behind my single jab, and landed, followed up with an uppercut, and before I knew it, I was getting, I was on top of the cage.
You said that you watched him fight Rosa because he was a fellow Boston guy.
Yes.
And heading into the fight, you started watching a little more footage and trying to learn a little bit more about Shane's tendencies heading into the fight. So what did you see to make you believe and realize your team as well that the jab is going to be such an important tool tonight, because you really were landing that over and over again?
Yeah, honestly, leading into this fight, we paid attention a little bit to this film. We had game plan for sure, definitely. A lot of strategy, but it always revolves around me becoming a better martial artist every time. I look to improve my weaknesses, tighten up all my weaknesses, and exceed in my strengths, and try to find where my strengths line up with his weaknesses the best. It really didn't go as planned. To be honest, I would have liked to have been a little bit more well-rounded, but my shots were landing a little bit in the first, so I stayed with that, stuck with that. Second round, he started, having his way a little bit, so I figured I got to get a little creative in the third. But before I could, I landed a heavy shot and followed it up, and before I knew it, they would pull me off.
Calvin, right here. You talked about your game plan and everything, but did anything he do specifically catch you off guard that you weren't game planning for?
Nothing crazy. I knew he was gonna be a tough kid. I knew he was gonna be a tough kid. I knew he was gonna bring a good stand-up. But I think I don't know whether it was I don't know if it was I shot a sloppy shot or he had just good defense. But I was a little upset I didn't get that first takedown. I wanted it at that point. And like I said, props to him. He's a tough kid. But no, I knew he was gonna bring a tough fight, and I felt like that fight lived up to the expectation. We were right before the title fights. People were talking a lot on, I think, a lot about how the card was a little lackluster. And I think we brought an exciting, action-packed fight tonight here in Boston.
Is there any name you want to not call out? Was there any name you had in mind for your next fight?
Man, I bring that Patriots mindset every time. I was focused on Shane Burgos this whole time. I didn't look past him. I had a lot of respect for him. He's been unbeaten his whole career, so nobody's been able to do what I did. I'm just happy I was able to go out and get the job done. And now I'll talk with my team, my coaches, and see who's next.
Hey, Calvin. over here to your left.
Yes,
How you
sir.
doing? I heard there was supporters of yours out there in the arena. I don't know if they were friends, family, or just fans, and they were wearing Hulk Hogan red and
right.
yellow font T-shirts with Kattar Mania.
Yes, sir.
Is that, you know something about that?
Brought it back old school. I fought on September 11th a few years back, and we brought it back to Kattar Mania. Came out to I'm a Real American. Figured it was good for the night, and we were gonna make some cool Skyline of the City T-shirts, and they were like, let's bring it back. Let's go old school to Kattar Mania, bright neon yellow. Show who we have in the crowd tonight, and so it was a last-second switch up. We did it, and yeah, I think that shirt is like 3-0 now, so we might have to run it back for the 4th.
You a big pro wrestling fan?
No, I mean, growing up, that's the thing. I was growing up on wrestling. These kids these days are growing up on the UFC. It's another level.
Thanks.
Hey, Calvin. One question.
Yes, sir.
Do the Pats win, and what's the final?
I'm honestly, the Pats win, of course, but I'm just happy to be able to eat a whole bunch of wings this time around. I said I would never take a fight in January knowing I'd miss the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, unless it was a big opportunity. And sure enough, UFC Boston came around. I was happy to sign that contract, but now I'll be excited to eat some wings and watch the game. But TB12 for sure, taking it all the way.